brown earth. Brown earth is the earth or the soil which is in deciduous forests. In coniferous forests, the trees with the needles, there is hot soil, the ground, with a lot of leaching and sand layers. Brown earth, there is the deep, fertile humus on which the deciduous trees, the ones with the leaves, are growing, oak trees, for example, and they have deep roots. They're reaching deep into the brown earth, where many earthworms are. They are not so much in the sand layer of the pot soil, and crumb structures and lots of organisms, microorganisms. And there's a little bit leaching also where water is going down through it and taking some nutrients out of the eroded material with its potassium, nitrogen, calcium down, but a lot less as in the pot soil, the sand layer and the water layered area. It's just going down. So that is brown earth. According to Geography by James Botany and Ryan Gressley on the page 43. The positions and views expressed are the ones of the source and don't necessarily align with our own points of increased power.
Hi, welcome. I'm trying to learn botany today, soils, and after we've done it, we're going to do stretching, and if you participate in the stretching, then it's very honest. Soils. Soil types vary all over the world. Okay, different places have different types of ground, different type of soil. The type of soil depends largely on the climate, do we say. Okay, we say on the, we sagen just climate, bedrock, and vegetation in an area. Okay, for example, deciduous woodlands such as those found in Britain. Okay, this is a British book. We're talking again as Britain as the example. So one example would be Britain, where deciduous woodland was or is found in Britain, usually have deep, fertile brown earths. Okay, woodland with trees with leaves, they have brown earth, called brown earth. Tropical rainforests have reddish, clay soils called latosols, and coniferous forests typically have a gray-colored pozole. Okay, deciduous forests, I think deciduous forests, these are trees with leaves. They have a brown earth. And tropical forests, they have in a reddish color latosols, and coniferous forests, so trees with needles, they have pozole, which is gray-colored. Soil is made up of weathered bedrock, which contains minerals mixed with water, air, and humus. That is decayed organic matter. So humus will decayed organic matter, so the leaves of the trees, for example. The leaves, if they're standing there for some weeks, months, years, they're becoming humus. And it is consisting out of a bedrock. That is the uppermost part of the earth, consisting out of minerals mixed with the water of the rain and air also and humus. Soil organisms such as bacteria, fungi, and earthworms are important in keeping the soil fertile. Okay, bacteria in it, fungi also, and worms are keeping the soil fertile. Soil is also an important source of nutrients, do we say. The chemical elements such as nitrogen, calcium, magnesium, and potassium, which are essential for plant growth. So the trees are not just standing there and waiting for water or sunshine, they also get nutrients out of the growth. I think they mean that the trees are getting, for example, nitrogen, calcium, magnesium, and potassium out of the ground, if that is what we're saying here. For plant growth, so yes, we say. Nutrients may be lost from soil. Okay, in the soil it is in, and someone could take it out of the soil. For example, through surface runoff. Nutrients dissolve in water on the soil surface and are washed away. Okay, there can be this one thing out of minerals. Let's just say it is salt. And now the water is running out of it, and it is dissolving the salt in the water and then washed away. And no longer is the salt if the trees would need salt. Maybe we do. And another thing is leaching. Nutrients are washed into the lower layers of the soil, out of the reach of plants. They may be redeposited in the lower layers of the soil. Okay, water can go down, and while it's going down, it takes the nutrients. So we're not talking about big nutrients. They mean calcium, magnesium, potassium, nitrogen. So elements which are there in the soil can be swept with it down, washed with it downwards, leaching. Soil profiles of a pozole, that was the one in the tropical forest, no, the one in the coniferous forest, and brown earth. Okay, so coniferous trees. Coniferous trees with shallow, well-spread roots. Okay, we're saying coniferous trees have shallow, so they don't go so deep down, shallow, but well-spread roots. And when pine needles on surface, so the needles of a conifers or coniferous things, trees are falling down, lying on the ground. Deep acid humus, did I say deep acid humus? And when sand layer, no earthworms, few other soil organisms. So these coniferous forests are growing on sand. Maybe therefore the shallow roots, because there's anyway not so much down there in the sand. And also no worms living there, and not many other organisms. Then a lot of leaching, and a lot is leached down. There's a water-locked layer, clayed. Is that the place where water is staying and can't go further down? I don't know what locked means. Okay, then there's an iron pen, for example, so a place where water is not going through. Then there's clay and parent rock. I think the main thing is, before we're going to the next thing is, there's only a little acidic soil layer on which then conifers can grow, or coniferous trees, because they have shallow roots and are fine with the acidic humus and the pine needles lying there, and a big sand layer in which they anyway don't have roots in. Now brown earth. Oak trees with very deep roots, for example, are growing. So deciduous trees. There's a thick leaf litter. Yes, they're letting not needles fall down, but leaf. And then there is deep fertile humus, which is almost the same as there. But in the illustration, they're saying there is a deep fertile humus. So instead of acidic humus on which the coniferous trees are growing, there's deep fertile humus on which oak trees and other deciduous trees can grow. And there's also some leaching, but not a lot of leaching, do I say. Brown earth crumb structure with lots of earthworms and other soil organisms. And then the parent rock. Is it because of the iron pen or because of the clay that there is the waterlogged layer standing, which has then the influence on the sand layer and the deep acidic humus? Because it seems, as a first, the geological components or the soil components, I looked it up, the science of soil would be soil science, but also then pedonology, I think was it. Now, would it be that it is the geology important? And then depending on that the trees are growing and not the trees are growing, and that has an influence on the soil. Maybe on the soil, on the humus layer, but not so much on the other layers. I think that is what they mean with it. Okay, we read it. If you were here for botany, you can go directly to the next part, where we will continue with botany. We will go to that page back, and we're going to make at least one, maybe even two, one presentation, maybe, and say there are some differences between coniferous forest soil and deciduous forest soil. Now the question is, would it be able just to plant now differently? Would it change now? Maybe the soil, but not the geological soil. Would it even be possible? We're going to come back to that page, and we're going to continue in other things. We have also dendrology, trying to find it out. If you stay and participate in the stretching and study the owners, have a feet standing together, out with one foot to the side and with the other foot, with the heels and with the other heels, and so on, as far as you can go. And one foot in, the other one. Heels, heels, toes, toes. And up again. Legs a bit to the side, leaving the arms up. And out go to the side. In middle. And out to the other side. In middle. Out, hands down, go to one side down. Believe in. Out one arm. In and out the rib cage. Out and back. In. Out the other arm slides down. In. Out one arm off. In and out the rib cage. Out and back. And the arms up. And out and reach. In. Out and reach. In. Out and down. And shoulder circles. Back, up, and front, and down. And backwards and front, up, back, and down. in the shoulders up, out and down, in and up, out and down, in the arms up, and we reach always with one arm high up. The feet wide apart, arms to the sides, breathe in, and out, go to one side. Inhale, out to the other side. Inhale, and out, lean onto the knees. Breathe in, and out, bring one shoulder in front. Out and back, and the other shoulder in front. In and back, and out, lean, hang down. Breathe again in, and out, go over to one leg. Again in, out over to the other leg. Again in, out into the middle, and close the feet again. Breathe again in, and out. Again in, and out comes slowly with the round back up at the top, backwards, shoulder roll. The toes are pointing to the outside, in the arms up. And out and sink down, elbows against the inside of the knees. Breathe in and straighten up. And out and come with the back up. Breathe again in. Out and down. In and straighten up. And out come slowly in one midline up. Hands down. Have a good standing leg. The heel of a noble leg on top of its knee. Breathe in. And out and down. Change with the other leg. Out and down. In and up. Legs to the sides, breathing down. And out of the chest to the sky. In and up. Out and down. In and up. Out. In. Out and down. In and close the legs. And again out. That was the stretching. I thank you very much, and until the next time.